Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Okay, so truth. Let's look at, imagine if you had a boat with no rudder. It'd be really hard to get a direction, wouldn't it? Well, what we're going to talk about is setting goals, but it's not just setting goals. Has anyone in here ever set a goal or had a plan or failed? Didn't get it?
Yeah.
Well, you guys suck. Okay, no, but we're all human. The challenge is that indecision, that chance of failure paralyzes people. And this has been going on for centuries. Teddy Roosevelt, far better to dare mighty things to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much because they live in a gray twilight that knows neither victory or defeat. Oh my God. Okay, that's true. So where do you get the motivation? Okay, we've got a couple of things coming up. This is coming up in about a little bit less than a month. Go to caljam.org. One of the ways that you're going to get incentive, passion, to excite it is to talk to those people that have experience. Like for me, okay, any nerds in this room? Dude, okay, good. I'm glad we're together. Okay, so when you're looking at this is nerding out central because you're looking at some of the top guys in the field, vaccinology, neurology, physiology. I mean, this is going to be a blast. You can save 20% by going there. Just type in Bergman 20. Easy. Go to caljam.org. This one, you've got 2 weeks for free. And this is, again, it's a way to start the year off by planning what you're going to be doing so you can get information so you can make a better life. Go to Extreme Health Academy and you get 2 weeks for free. It's Bergman 14 there. So Bergman 20 for CalJam, you get 20% off. Bergman 14, you get this. And we've got the cruise coming up, 9 hours of continuing ed. Do you know what that actually means? It's deductible, right, Doc? That's all we care about. So 9 hours of continuing ed, plus you get to explore Athens, Israel, Crete, Cyprus, and we hang out on the boat for 9 days. You know, that doesn't suck. But now, let's talk about burnout. Okay, I've had about 3 major burnouts in my life. The first one, I was 26 years old, had a cabinet shop, 4 employees, and I decided at nighttime to split a shopping center, like a supermarket, in half so that we lease out the back half for a jazzercise center. Now, at the time, I was told that there were a number of people that were going to help. It was going to be a family community project because we're looking at a 200-foot-long wall that's 40 feet high. Nobody showed up. Okay, so now imagine working about 12 hours a day, okay, and then coming in there and working until about midnight, then getting up at around 4:35 to pick up the guys. And you do this for about 2 months. You reach the end of physical, emotional exhaustion. It freaked me out because, I mean, here I was 26, okay, and I'm thinking, man, tough. My body would do anything it ever asked. It was friggin' amazing. And I'm thinking it's bulletproof, but here I am on the top thing of scaffolding. I'm reaching down, I'm grabbing this hunk of drywall, and then I'd have to grab it up, put it on a piece of scaffolding, then go up, grab it again, do it again. And I went to grab it. I couldn't lift it. It was a little piece of 5-inch ply. You know, obviously you can pick it up with one hand. It's only like 100 pounds, but I couldn't do it. The strength had gone. It freaked me out. So then I realized that human beings have physical limits. So when you're doing this, because everybody in here has gone through, or out here, wherever, you know, has gone through things where you've reached the limit, your physical, emotional, everything. I mean, or am I the only one? Okay, so this is my schedule last year. One guy, I got 2 clinics, one in Huntington Beach, one in Mexico. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm start adjusting here at 5. Okay, I leave here around 6, except for Tuesday, I leave here around 8 o'clock. We have the Extreme Health Academy, and that requires a few hours that I have to do per week. I also do the teaching videos, which require research, PowerPoints, everything else. I do at least 4 online consultations. Now, And then you have relationships. I know it takes no time at all to keep your relationship together. I know your guys got it easy. Okay, but let's say that a relationship, you needed time. Okay, you needed effort. And so I'm thinking, well, there's 168 hours a week. That's 24 hours times 7. You sleep 49. That's 7 hours. Does anyone think that's extravagant? No. Okay, so 14 hours of traveling, driving, brushing your teeth. Okay, 77 hours a week minimum that I have to work at the 2 clinics, 8 hours for consultations, 3 hours a week for Extreme Health Academy, 6 hours a week for True Health Tuesdays, 8 hours a week for emails, calls, research, everything else. So that gives me 3 hours a week of great free time to really mellow out. Okay, so consequently, I had a week off at the end of the year, and it was like diving for a finish line. And I mean, it was all I can do. And normally I sleep about 6.5 to 7.5 hours. I went to bed at 9 o'clock, and I didn't wake up till 11 o'clock the next day. Stayed up for 2 hours, then I didn't wake up till 9 o'clock the next day. And oh my God, I felt normal. So because you get into a grind, like when people say, you know, you're so busy, you're amazing, I don't know how you do it. And I said, look, dude, I think I'm just a hamster on a wheel. I can't stop this friggin' thing. Okay, and so what do you do when you're overwhelmed? Okay, I mean, I know some people could handle this schedule, but it was burning me out. So I think of this guy, okay? And I'm going to show, because you can burn the candle at both ends. Shit, I'm going to show you how to break that candle in half so you get 4 ends. Okay, so you could do this for short periods of time, but long periods of time, it will fry your brain. It'll fry your relationships. It's going to fry your health. So you can't do it. So what do you do when you're in the midst of it? I look at people that have accomplished a shitload more than I have with a hell of a lot more challenge. Okay, Shackleton, brilliant. Okay, so how many guys in here under 30? Huh? How many guys in here under 30? Okay, men wanted. Answer this ad. You better raise your hand, because look right here. This is what you want to sign up for, sir. Men wanted for hazardous journey. It did? How come? Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honored recognition in case of success. Who wants to sign up? Okay, think of this. This is 1914. This is incredible. Okay, but people did. Now, the problem is they got stuck in the ice. It's possible to be burnout when you're setting goals or anything else. Trust me, done it a couple of times. If you've only been burnt out once, go for it. Really strain your relationships. Try and get emotionally screwed up. It'll affect your health negatively. You know, and then if you're in psycho world, you can take Prozac, antidepressants, muscle relaxants, pain relievers, antacids, all of the stress-related medications so you can toxify your blood and then really die early. Okay, or let's change. One of the techniques that I use to survive challenges, and I'm big challenges, is I'll look at guys like this, Ernest Shackleton. And honestly, I don't think even when I was like 18, 19, 20 and completely crazy, I don't think that I would have signed up for this mission. But think of this. Before cell phones, yes, there was a time, young man, before cell phones. There was a time before cassettes, young man. We call them 8-tracks. Think way back. No, but this, I mean, you're talking thousands of miles away from anyone. Total darkness for, 6 months of the year. They're stuck in the ice. They only have themselves and their ship, which is being crushed by the ice. They survived 634 days, and everyone survived. What's a trip is at the same time in the North Pole, this is the South Pole, North Pole, same type of expedition, everybody died. I think there's one survivor. So the only difference, so similar circumstances, was leadership. And so I'm going to teach you how to be a leader in your own life. Because sometimes I'm telling you, when you're on the ice, when you're working both ends, when you're the guy in charge and you don't have anyone to turn to, this is what you got to go to. You got to look like, who survived this stuff? Okay, because you can do it. You can make it up Everest. So this is where you cultivate your optimism. You set small goals. You think, okay, good. Yesterday was a tough one. We can make it tomorrow. Be aware of your self-talk. And I'll get people in here all the time saying, it's this pain. It's hurting me. And I go, okay, well, what shape is it? How much does it weigh? Is it really heavy? And they'll look at me like I've lost my mind. Yeah, because they're creating something that's not really there. It's that fibromyalgia. It's that inflammatory bowel. It's this, it's a thing attacking them. So they get this victim status. So I say, look, this is bull. Okay, it's no peripheral neuropathy. This is a pinched nerve. It's a nerve that's pinched so we can, what can we do? Unpinch it. Okay, it's that simple. So it's not a demon attacking you. So self-talk is hugely important. Find outlets for your feelings. Let go of guilt. Guilt is the biggest killer. So now here were my goals of last year. Okay, 2019, I wanted to open a clinic, a neurologic-based clinic in Mexico. It's now open 5 days a week. I have 3 doctors down there. I'm down there 2 days a week, and it is up and running. It's about probably 40% to capacity because we still have a huge amount of infrastructure, but bam it, we got that done. Okay, what I did not get done is the workout 3 days a week. Didn't have the time. What I did not get done is teach or take a seminar. In fact, I signed up for 5 seminars that I had to cancel all of them because I was hoping that I would get some help to open up the Mexico clinic. Nobody was able to help me, so I had to cancel my fun, cool nerd stuff, okay, and focus in on Mexico clinic. Take 1 day a month to reflect and plan. This is vital. When you're making your goals, to know where you came from and where you're freaking going is as essential as breathing. Absolutely. And connect with your family at least twice a year. I did. I mean, I'm a really good chiropractor. I'm a pretty good husband. I'm a shitty brother. Okay, my sisters will say I'm pretty good because I'm there if they need me in a crisis, but connecting, I'm not that good at. Okay, because it's not really a priority. But this year we actually hung out a couple of times, which was huge. So these are the steps, and I'm going to run through them really quick, and then we're going to go through in detail on how to literally change your life. Because if you're feeling like you didn't have a good year last year, or you were overwhelmed, or didn't have the direction, or don't know where the heck you're going, have no idea where to find that passion, okay, where to do it, I'm going to show you how to develop it. I'm going to show you how to get direction. Number 1, review last year and be honest. Okay? Did it suck? Did you succeed? Your successes and failures. Nobody in here is going to succeed at everything. Nobody in here is going to fail at everything. Determine your highest values. What's a value? A value is like a fingerprint. It's what you spend your time on, spend your money with. What's more important to you? And these values have to be congruent. Okay? And it's not values of, yes, I value myself. No. What do you like to do? What do you spend your time on? Do you value yourself by spending time on a sailboat, motorcycle ride, archery? What do you do? Do you spend your time with your kids? Is that your values? Because each person has values unique as their fingertip or their fingerprint. Doing this exercise, and we're going to go over this in detail, the 100 things to do, be, or become. You have an innate inborn intelligence in your body, and this is an intelligence that's vital. This runs everything. This innate intelligence is connected to a universal intelligence, and this is where you can get a little cerebral. There's a way to tap into it. You have all the answers, and you'll see this in philosophy course after philosophy course. You already know the solution. Why? Because what's Socratic learning? It's to ask you questions. And then by you answering your own questions, you get taught yourself. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to show you how to connect up to this universal intelligence, and it's going to take your life on a pathway that leads you in harmony. Because if every day is hard, if every day you're struggling, you're not in the right pathway, okay? Or you're being overwhelmed. Review the 100 things to do, be, or become. This is going to be a fun exercise. Choose the top 5 things of the 100 things, and I'll show you how to do it. Make a vision board. Mindstorming is a trip. How would you like to have a simple process that someone tells you, oh, the most wise man on the planet or in the universe has actions to give you so that you can achieve anything. But it has to be something specific. And when we're talking mindstorming, if you put happiness, I'm going to kick you out. Okay? It has to be tangible. Okay? It has to be something measurable. It has to be something real. Okay? And this, I'm going to show you how to get it. And then troubleshooting. Because there's always going to be something that comes up. If you're ever assembling something from IKEA or an electronic, what do they have at the back? Troubleshooting, baby. Okay, so when you're writing down resolutions, look at your self-talk. Your self-talk is vital. I can't do this. I'm going to quit. How many times have patients said, well, doc, I'm really trying to do that deep sleep. No, you're either doing it or you're not. I'm really trying to get a juice a day. Well, if you're not doing it, it's not a priority. So, why even waste the effort on it? Okay, so the try doesn't make any sense. If you're writing goals like this one person wrote down goals that says, well, I want to be a dancer. I want to be an extra. I want to be, then you're always going to be wanting something. Okay, so you write it in present tense. I am a dancer. I am a mechanic. I am a pilot. And this is where the tough part is, because we all put limits on our stuff. We had a patient today, and he actually was here a couple of times ago. But he was born with a spinal cord outside of his body. They did 9 operations to the spinal cord in the body. He didn't have any feeling in his legs, and this was a couple of years ago. Keeps working and working and working. He now has a trach. And he's able to pedal the trach. No, you're supposed to say, wow! It's limitless. When you look at that, what's that one guy, Vic, I think his name is? Yeah, Nick. Yeah. No arms, no legs, motivational speaker. I mean, so we put limits on our own minds. To break those limits is huge. But first, I want to make you aware that you can break them. Imagine if you had a genie. 3 wishes, heck with that. Hundreds of wishes. You can get whatever, but it's got to be specific. So none of this happiness, more joy, more of this, peace on earth. Okay, you can't have a one-sided world like that. It doesn't work. Okay, but anything you want. And look at the categories you can have. Health, wealth, success, love, prosperity. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Think of Indiana Jones 1. He's or the third one. He's going off, making a leap of faith to find the Holy Grail. What would you do? Would you take that step? Okay, if you knew you couldn't fail. So this is hugely important. Now, whatever book you read, if you read the Bible, Quran, Torah, it says the same thing. Do you know what God says to get stuff? You know what you have to do? Ask. Ask? It can't be that simple. Isn't that a form? No, a 28-7-page form. No, you don't have to show that you've done enough torture or stuff in order to get things. No, none of that stuff's true. Knock and the door opens. Ask and it's given. So the clues are there. The clues are there in every type of philosophy and in every religion. This is what I did. Now I showed that I did not achieve 2 of my goals. Those are still good goals. Okay, so there's no such thing as an unrealistic goal, but there is unrealistic timelines. Okay, because other things may come up. Duh. Okay. So now on your sheet that you got, we got this, and we've got a wheel, and you can see it up there. Now you can put anything you want in this wheel. Okay, but it's got to be something tangible, something that you can measure, or something that you can feel, like your physical environment. Where do you live? Are you happy with that? Do you like living under a trash can? Okay. Would you rather have a boat? Something. Then you look at your career and work. Are you content with it? Are you contributing? Are you making a difference? Do you feel appreciated? Okay. If you really do, then you're going to put a line way at the top because you want a good wheel to go through life. If you're crappy at it, you hate your job, The workers that you're working with don't wash. Okay, you're going to put it down here. Okay, so you're going to see if you actually look at every aspect of your life, because you can't be real successful at business but not in health. You can't be really successful, have a ripped body in health, but live in a trash can. Okay, so you need some type of balance. And the key is, if you can balance each area of life, your wheel is round. Okay, and you can see multiple philosophers get this. I first got this from Coach CJ in 2003. Tony Robbins taught about this. DeMartini taught about this. God knows who invented the wheel. Okay, so now the cool thing is the limitations that you have aren't really there. If I said, it'd be tough to fly to space, now if you got a couple $100,000, you can take Virgin Airlines up to space. And 10 years ago, that would have been impossible. So what's going to be possible in another 10 years? We don't know. Now, this is actually my wheel from last year. Now, I got 2014, 17, 18, 19, which is just a bundle of different colors up there. Okay, and I got to tell you, 2018, I was doing better at fun. I was doing better in finances, better in health, way better with my friends. God, why do my friends hang with me? I have no friggin' idea. Way better at personal growth and way better at fun and recreation. So this year, I've shifted my intention and focus to personal growth, development, and health to accomplishing certain tasks. And everyone will go through this. Okay, unless you have, the stellar person in the back, we could shut off the light, they literally glow, and they're perfect in every aspect. No, life doesn't work that way. Okay, that's not how it is. Challenges and solutions, challenges and creations. We need this in order to change or in order to progress. Determining your highest values, dmartinis.com has got a great thing. It's free. You get on there, you can choose your values. Look at different books to choose, but each value that you have, don't try and line your values with your partner, your spouse, your parents, or any of that. They're as unique as a fingerprint. Okay, and it's hugely important. Now, this is the cool part. This is where you get the 100 things to do, be, or become. This is not a week-long project. This is something you have to do in just a few hours. Now, my oldest son, he said, 100 things. Dad, you got to tell people. You got to do at least 200 things, because I could do 100 things in about 20 minutes. And I'm going, holy shit, dude. Squirrel. Okay, skydiver, rock climber, he just has so many goals in life. But like normal human beings, you put down 100 things to do, be, or become, but they got to be specific. And what the theory is behind this and how this actually connects you to the universal intelligence, you're going to run out of stuff, but you got to complete it. So when you get to 39, 49, 50, you've already written down, you're going to learn Italian. Okay, you've already learned that you're going to, be an engineer. Okay, you're going to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay, you're going to learn lion taming because, you think, Jesus, it's number 50. I got to put something down. Okay, you got to get to 100. But the whole point of that is you're tapping into this subconscious, this universal intelligence that will guide you and give you ideas. So it could be swim with the sharks in South Africa. It could be scuba dive the Great Barrier Reef. It could be learn Latin. Okay, no, they don't speak in Latin America. Okay, so you look at this. No, that was what was that almost president that we had? Ford. Oh no. God, he was a vice president that thought that people in Latin America spoke Latin. Who was it? Quayle. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's like, dude, you need to be a politician. Okay, so you fill this out. That's the key. But get it all done. Make sure it's fanciful and make sure it's real. So when you're going to write do, okay, I'm going to become, like for me, 45 minutes a day, I'm going to be dedicated to health. Guaranteed, 100%. I just changed my hours at work. I'm going to start adjusting at 6. I'm still going to get up at 4, so I can't change my sleep time, but I can take an hour away from adjusting and add it later on the day and take it from a report. So I'm just going to change my work time where I'm changing an hour a day. Okay, so I'll be able to do it. That's going to piss a few people off because I'm only going to be able to adjust, probably 50, 60 people instead of 80 people, but, I'll probably live longer. I mean, I've still got a good upper body from doing it. Okay, but this here is the key. So you go around each one, and this is hugely important because this is literally my list. Be a celestial navigator, okay, and circumnavigate the world. I mean, because that, man, sailing for me is my joy. But what if, how much do you want to make a month? If I said 5,000, you might say, that's pretty low. It'd be hard to make rent. A buddy of mine, he's an interior designer, and this guy works on $100, $150, $200 million homes. I mean, massive projects, okay? And there was an old thing in high school that said, look, if you had $10 million, what would you do? And the theory is that it was so much money that you wouldn't be encumbered by the standard limitations that you put on your own mind, so you would be able to do this. And I said, Lars, buddy, if you had $10 million tomorrow, what would you do? He said, gee, John, I couldn't even buy the kitchen I'm working on. And okay, bam! I never even thought of that. A $20 million kitchen. Okay, so what do you do? And so I said, look, what is your limit? How much do you want to make a month? And so you write it in present tense. Maybe 5,000 is a lot. Maybe 50,000 a month is a lot. Maybe $500,000 is too much for your brain, or maybe it's doable. Maybe $5 million a month is too much for your brain. Because on these numbers that I'm telling you, some of you are going, dude, I can't accept it. Others are saying, shit, that's reasonable. I could do that. 5 million, that's about $1.2 million a week. We got 5 days. Okay, yeah, we could do that. That's 600,000 a day. Okay, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Okay, or 60,000. You see what I mean? So it depends on your limits in your mind. A buddy of mine has different limits than I do. Okay, now, so you got the 100 list, okay, and the last 20 or 30, you just kind of blew through because you were just drained. You couldn't think of anything. But your brain was putting stuff down. So now you go back through and you put a 1, a 5, or a 10, whether it could be accomplished in 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years. Now, 1 year from now, I'm for sure going to have 45 minutes. That's guaranteed. I could put a tattoo on my arm. I'm so confident of that. 5 years from now, where I can navigate from the stars. Okay, where I literally can take my sextant, which is, if anyone's used it, it's really cool. Okay, but I need to have good star maps and be familiar, and I can do it on a stable platform now, but I need to do it on a boat that's not moving, that's stable. Okay, and become a circumnavigator. Now, that's probably going to take 10 years. I got a couple of people that are friends of mine that have traveled the world, and these guys are brilliant. But for me, it's probably going to take 10 years because I'm going to need at least 5 years to take some time off to travel a long time because I've got, a couple of projects coming up. So now, once you've done that, you've done the 100 things to do, be, or become, you put a 1, a 5, or a 10 next to each one. You pick the top 5 1-year goals, the top 5 5-year goals, and the top 5 10-year goals. And this is what you make your vision board out of. Now, what's the trip is some of these goals might not be aligned with your values. You might be adjusting your values to what people think you should have. Like, let's say you wanted to save money, but you also loved that Gucci purse or Chanel, Louis Vuitton, put your designer here. Okay, you're not going to be saving money and buying a $5,000 purse. Okay, because you're going to value brand names. Do you know what I mean? So your desires and passions may not be in line with what you thought your values were. And this is hugely important when you're talking about goals, Because if your goals are in line with your values, fantastic. Okay. Then you make a vision board that you can look at every day. I mean, what do you want? What do you want to be inspired? Because it's literally the carrot and the stick. And that's hugely important. Because what you're doing right now with this 100 things to do, be, or become, with setting the goals, with changing your life, you're changing your belief system. Because right now you may believe that you have a congenital anomaly, your brother or sister had this, they were always in pain, your parents died early, why don't you bend over and kiss your own butt goodbye? You would, but you're not flexible enough. Okay? And that's crazy because that's a delusional belief system. In my belief system, you're all more energy than matter. Okay? And energy can't be created or destroyed. Your bodies all have limitless potential. Because I've seen it. I've seen diseases reversed, arthritis reversed. I mean, I've seen every kind of disease you can imagine reversed. And it's not me or techniques. It's the body has the ability to reverse diseases. You can look, there's a number of books on incurable diseases cured so that you can change that limitation. So what do they say about certain diseases? Well, you have an 80% chance of dying in the first 6 months. Okay, good. That means 20% live. Okay, so it's really based on your perception. And this is what belief is. A belief is perception plus evidence plus time. Now, how many people believe you only live once? Okay, good. That's a nice thing. I could say you live every day, you die once, but that'd be kind of sarcastic, but that kind of fits me. Or I could say, obviously, you guys aren't Buddhist. Okay. Sorry for you guys. This is it. I'm going to be back a bunch of times. Okay. But what that is, it's a belief system. Okay. So it's based on perception and time. And that's what the whole point of the 100 things to do, be, or become. I mean, you've heard the story of two kids, one kid ridiculously positive all the freaking time. The other kid depressed all the time. And of course, in this day and age, the mom brings them to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist says, look, give the grumpy kid every toy they ever want and give the happy kid the worst present you could imagine. And so they did. They got the little kid, with that was sad, every toy. And they go in the room after a while and they see all the toys around. None of them are being played with. If I open them, I'm going to break them. They're just going to get worn out. Why should I even play with the toys? And they go, well, that didn't work. Then they go to the next room, and what they did, they actually got the kid a big box of horse poop. And they go in there and they open the door, and there's horse poop being thrown around, and the kid's in the middle of the box. There's got to be a pony in here somewhere. Okay, so it's really based on your perception, not what's actually happening. Okay, and this is the key, because when you're burnout, when you're doing so much work, or when everything is going well, you still have to do the same actions. You have to be consistent with this. One of the things that I recommend is neurolinguistic programming, because I got to tell you, when you've been hurting for forever, when you're in the trenches, when you don't see any out, you're creating emotions, and emotions are chemicals secreted by how the brain perceives the environment, not what's actually happening. So anytime you're going, oh, gosh, I got this pain. Oh, that means I'm getting old before my time. I won't be able to pick up my kids. Oh, my God. Or, I'm sore. God, I got to work out a little bit. Okay, same stimuli, totally different perception. But it's based on how your brain is firing. Because if you've been hurting day in, day out, week in, week out, or you've had the same kind of anxiety, stress, and depression from a crappy job, Christine, quiet, you do have a good job. Okay, from amazing boss, but you're going to be firing along those lines multiple times, and that creates certain chemicals secreted by your brain. And so you can think joyous, wonderful, amazing thoughts. Serotonin, dopamine are going to be secreted. That's going to radically alter your physiology. You can feel anxiety, stress, and depression, and that's going to stimulate cortisol, adrenaline, Norepinephrine spasm out the muscles on either side of the spine. It puts you in a dark pit of hell, a fast way down. Why? Because you're familiar with it. You're familiar with it. 3 stressors you got to fix: physical, chemical, and emotional. And this is one of my favorite tools. When I'm burnout at both ends, by God, get in here, put the body posture, volume, intonation, and breathing, and do this multiple times a day so you can change the chemicals your brain secretes, and that alters your physiology. It'll help you get through short-term crises, but eventually it's going to actually reprogram the brain. And so while we're doing all the healing and you're changing all the lifestyle changes that led to the damage, you do this and it changes the emotional. And it's called the I am exercise. Check out our videos on that. But it's also body posture, intonation. I mean, think of people walking around like this. I feel like shit. No, they're like this. Okay, burnout, everything destroyed, beaten down. So it's literally this is happy, this isn't. But think of this neurologically. In this aspect, you're changing the sensors that you have on either side of the spine, stimulating the cerebellum, which controls the frontal lobe. So this body posture movement alone changes frontal lobe stimulus through the cerebellum. And if you start walking cross crawl or moving both of your arms at the same pace, you're hitting that cerebellum, which controls the frontal lobe. Anxiety, stress, depression, all of those things are going to change by body posture. And think of neurolinguistic programming. Think of this, well, Tony Robbins calls it incantations. And this is one that I got off of him. God's wealth is circulating in my life. So now what am I doing? Body posture, volume, intonation, and breathing. God's wealth is circulating in my life and flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs and desires and goals are met instantly by infinite intelligence, for I'm one with God, and God is everything. My goodness. Can you imagine saying that 3 times a day? Try saying it 3 times a day with enthusiasm, and then try to feel like crap afterwards. It's impossible. You can't do it. You would have to be very skilled at being grumpy. Okay, so now here, mindstorming. You can put anything you want at the top of this. Now, everyone knows brainstorming. Brainstorming, a few people get together, we talk about something, and we work out a problem. This one, again, you're using that innate universal intelligence in your brain to tap in. So you put something on top. You can put beautiful, the ultimate spouse, or the ultimate relationship, or you can put a boat, you can put a car. You can put anything tangible. You can't put happiness because that's not tangible. And if you're always happy, it's called delusion. If you're always sad, it's called delusion. Okay? Nobody can have one-sided all the time. That's just not that's not how the world works. So when you're looking at this, you write down a specific thing and then 20 specific actions underneath that you can do. Now, it's pretty easy to do 5, but when you get to 10, you get to 15, you're tapping into this innate intelligence, and you're going to get better ideas that'll take you in a different pathway, and it's all from you. And then you go through, you complete each one, guaranteed at the end, okay, you will have whatever you want. Okay, you really will. And you're going to know the pathway on how to get it. Peter Drucker, what's measured is improved. So you have to have measurable goals that you can do it. And then you got the stick and the carrot thing. Like, what happens right now if you do nothing? Okay, you do nothing. You have no direction. You decide not to look at where you went, not to where you're going, and you just drift with the news. You just drift with the work. You have no direction or command of your own life. That's okay. Okay, there's a lot of factories in the world that need you. Except you're not going to experience life the way you have. You have the opportunity to have an amazing life, and this is how you get it. What if you don't achieve your goals? Don't worry. Do it next year or change it. Because as you go through life, your values might change, and a goal of, that was appropriate 5 years ago might not be appropriate now. I love this one. Crisis, the Chinese character for crisis, is danger and opportunity. Because it really is. I mean, when I talk about Ernest Shackleton and how he overcome tremendous odds, look at other movies, look at other videos. I mean, that's what I do. Like I'll put in Henry V with Kenneth Branagh, and man, watch that one. You get a little Shakespeare in there. The St. Crispin's Day speech. You watch. I mean, you're ready to walk through block walls if they're on fire. But all of these challenges limit people. But were they challenges or were they crises? Like, have you ever been in absolute, amazing, spectacular, passionate love and it didn't work? I know, everyone's smiling, but I'm the only one raising my hand. Okay. God, yeah, I remember, man. I was 12 and she was 14, Okay, we've all done this. Okay. But it changes. Okay, so everything changes. So we've all had pain, loss, fear, disease, and these should not limit you because you learn from this stuff. Everybody does. Just break down the limits. Do the 100 things to do, be, or become. Do the mind storming, and you're going to get through this. When you're burning the candle at both ends, and this is the only way that I was able to survive, I was disciplined in getting sleep. Okay, even though I was physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. Sufficient nutrients. If you are going to do projects that you're going to have to push it, a little bit too much, look at the vitamin C, look at the omega-3s, because omega-3s are going to be the stress vitamin. Exercise, play, that gives stimulus to the brain. Look at our deep sleep videos, because there's a way when you're under stress or when you're doing things to change your circadian rhythms, and you can do it within 5 days. Juicing. Why? Because when you're under stress, this pre-digest it and get the nutrients in the system. Plus, if you have any physical pain, any abdominal bowel issues because of chronic sympathetic dominant or stress state, this pre-digest the nutrients, and it also allows inflammation to work. It allows inflammation to work. Inflammation is a healing process of the body, and the antioxidants here actually allow the body to regenerate tissue. Smoothies, fantastic. Organic, plant-based diet, exercise, walking barefoot unless you're in the northern hemisphere, and the I am exercise. This is a cool trick too. If you've ever had a relationship where it's stagnant, okay, and stagnant is worse than death. What you can do is do the 90-day challenge, and this is the neatest thing ever. For 90 days, whether it's reciprocal or not, act every day like this is the ultimate spouse, the ultimate partner, okay, the most loving, supportive, whether it's reciprocal or not, doesn't matter, okay? So this way, every day, love you, darling. I'm so glad you're here. You just make my day. And she says, yeah, so what? Okay, dear, thank you. Keep going at it for 90 days. Okay, guarantee at the end of 90 days, you're either going to have the greatest relationship ever, or you can leave. It ain't working out, and I'm okay with that. and you can do it. It's amazing. But get to the cruise if you can. And this is why we put the 5 keys to health in there. Nerve supply, why? Because that's how you perceive it. Exercise, nutrition, rest, and prayer and meditation. But this is the rudder for the ship. This is what you require to survive and thrive on this planet. But you need the goals, that vision, that drive and direction to make a difference in the world and to make a difference in your life. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, what time is it, Christine?
7:46.
7:46. Okay, I got time for 3 questions. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Shackleton survived by sailing a small boat to the Falklands, isn't that?
I don't think it was Falklands. I think it was Whale Island, but yeah.
It's like 1,600 miles in a small open lifeboat.
Mm-hmm.
Feet.
Yep.
That's how they got out.
When Shackleton made it, All the guys made it. And honestly, after looking, if you ever read this, Shackleton's Expedition, it doesn't matter what crap we go through. These guys, I mean, just to be the same species as men of quality like this, it's like, dude, you know, you're my goal. I never want to go through that kind of crap, you know. I mean, nothing like cold seal meat with wet, clammy seal skins being worn for, you know, 2 years. I'd rather not. Well, 630 some days, yeah. Any other questions? Good. Next week, I'm going to try and get enough time this week to talk about cannabinoid receptors and how it's not just weed, it's actually an entire system in the body. So this way we can talk about how you can actually reverse disease utilizing this. Thank you very much.